just it eats away at your mental faculties.
I'm already doing a good job of that.
Right, right. I'm not gonna lead us in because I did just start recording while I was talking there. Um,
Mhm.
I don't expect for you to tell me your age, but what age group are you in? Are you 18 to 26, 26 to 37, 37 to obviously you're not older than 37, but
I could be. My age range is 29.
29. Okay. Okay.
I
Well,
could
I know some people are really uncomfortable, talking about how old they are.
mhm. Yeah, which that's totally fair.
Mm,
I grew up in the era, like, right before, it's like the transition to GameCube, PS2 era.
okay. Okay.
So all the shit I actually like, I just missed.
Right. You were right on the cusp of actually being able to be there. Yeah. My
Mhm.
wife would just send me a message that said she thought you were 20.
At 20, we
Mm-hmm.
did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see how long we keep this up. We'll
Somebody
see
told
how far we can fall
s-
quickly.
somebody at my job told me that they were like, well, when are you going to go to college? And I'm like, I'm 37. It's like, like has sailed past me a long time ago.
No, that's a sick compliment.
Hmm.
You either that compliment is either the baby face compliment where it's like you don't wanna ever have that, or it's the young person compliment where you're like, "Hell yeah."
Right, right. Like, how do you feel when people say that you look young? Does it piss you off, or is it something you take in like in jest, or
I'm trying to stay young as long as possible.
at
So I'm
least
like, "Okay, thank God we're still there."
at least you can recognize that though, because I used to get upset when people would call me when I was like in my early to mid 20s when people would say I looked young because I'm like, God damn it, I'm an adult.
Mhm.
And
I've always had older friends, so, like, as
mhm,
by default young, so it's just like, well, yeah, they're like 10 plus years older.
you just rock with it, yeah. How,
Mhm.
how does it feel to let me try to say this the best way. You had mentioned something about kind of just missing it. Is that something you see as a boon, or is that something you see as that makes you appreciate them more, like the arcade games?
It's in this weird half and half where it's like I basically just missed going to an actual arcade. Like I did a nickelcade as a kid, like once or twice, but I missed the like finding like actual games. Like growing up, you go to Chuck E. Cheese, maybe they have a Galaga cab. That's like about the most you get. But I did get like there's like little plants that I had in my life. So like when I was 8, my dad had an old laptop with MAME on it. So like I played MAME games when I was like 8. So, like, I'd played arcade games at that point, so it's already a part of childhood, even though I missed that era. Or, like, in elementary school, my main friend I had, his dad had a Super Nintendo, so we'd pull that up and play, like, Castlevania 4. So, I'm, like, in that exact point in time where I'm not completely nostalgic for the old stuff, but kinda am, while also being in on the new stuff. So, I'm
Okay.
like, it's an interesting place to be. But in order to recreate the shit I missed, which is the arcade stuff, we had to do it ourselves.
Oh,
And that's why we
nice.
have these. Because I'm like, man, I wish I could have done those. Well, now we have a better setup than probably anywhere you could go could be.
I mean, honestly, every time I see those cabs in your videos, I'm always like, how did you do that? And then, I know you'd already answered it in the preface, but like, are they real? And not that that matters at all, because it like you'd said, it is mostly about capturing the feel of it, capturing
Mhm.
uh, the kind of like je ne sais quoi that an arcade has, because they really don't exist, and even in places that they do exist, it's just not the same.
Yeah. So so I just care about the feel. So I'm not original hardware sick, but like I'm a person where like the convenience of just having this hooked up to a PC is all I care about.
Mhm.
Or like closest to original hardware. I don't know if you can see I got a mister right there. That's
Yeah, I
about as
do.
close as I'll go. But like so like these two are real Velix. if it's a Velix or Chilix, it doesn't matter. They're both good. I just got lucky and got real ones. But they're literally like the monitors ripped out, the JAMA controls I've ripped out, the everything in here that makes it a Velix is not in there anymore. It's quite literally just everything plugged into a computer. But it feels metal. It you can't tell the difference when you're playing.
Right,
So I'm
right.
like, it's perfect. We get the convenience of it's really easy to just like put stuff on there. Recording's easy, streaming's easy. No capture cards, no nothing. If you want to play like a Steam game or whatever, I literally just it's all hooked to a PC right now. I just drag the window over there. It's quite literally like monitor, monitor, monitor.
That is so cool.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
it's pure convenience.
Well, something is to be said about it because I know me and Chris were talking the last couple of episodes about that, about the love of like retro for the sake of being retro versus the fact that emulation is so good nowadays that literally like you can get it either 100% or as close to 100%. It's very much on it's been like that for a while. And so I know that I stopped collecting like retro stuff like a long time ago.
Hmm.
Because because it felt the convenience of like being able to hook it up to an old TV because all my CRTs are dead. It's all monitors and HD TVs, and especially with like having a family and stuff, I don't really have the space for it. And yeah. I guess I feel extremely similar in that way to where as long as I can get the feel down and if it's good enough for me, then I can kind of do what I need to do.
Hmm. If there's nothing like catastrophically missing, like playing like something like Mushi with no slowdown or something, as
Hmm.
long as they're not something like critical like that, I'll even take like minor blemishes, like maybe a sound is missing or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool. I still do like original hardware stuff. Like, I don't have too much, but like, I used to
Mhm.
grab stuff before it got into like actual shmups and was just into like retro stuff. It'd be cool to grab those.
Yeah, I got like a
But
bag of stuff. I think the highest like thing that I have that I own is I own an original copy of Battlemania Daijinjo.
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that was
isn't that a chunk
expensive.
right now?
Yeah, it was expensive.
Any like Genesis, like you look at Musha price right now, or like, is it Magical Chase like a metric shit ton of money?
Yeah, like 300, four hundred
I'm like,
dollars, something like that. It's ridiculous.
I'm like all the even before I knew shmups, I felt like shmups in the retro gaming space were like that was like the premier premium like thing to get. It's like, oh, you got Musha, holy shit,
Mm-hmm.
type of thing.
Even 15 years ago, I was down where I used to live down south, and there was like a retro video game store, and they had a copy of Musha there in the box, everything. Nine hundred
Mhm.
dollars is what they're trying to
I
sell it
know.
for. Nine
Oh,
hundo. Same as Earthbounders right next to it. They're trying to sell both of them for $900. CIB.
you're like, I'll just download my tiny ROM and
Yeah,
chuck it on.
yeah, like right, because every time you use a piece of electronics, it's oh god, my brother said it to me a certain way, like you're taking up a little bit of gas that's in the tank every time you hit the power button. Every time you do anything with it, it's only got like that limited lifespan, like planned obsolescence, I guess. So, my Genesis is going to fail at some point, and then I'm going to have this
Mhm.
game that I paid 1,000, that I paid almost a month's rent for, and it's just sitting on my shelf as a showpiece. That's cool, but what is it more than that?
It's an investment. Oh, that's what it's all about now. Actually, the things like going out is a big reason why I have these and not like a Astro City or something.
Hmm.
Would want a CRT cab so bad. I have like a Neo Geo 2 slot. That's as close as we'll get to.
That's
But
so
like
cool.
those are CRTs are like a lifestyle to keep those not dying and in good condition. I know the dudes who are really good at working on those. Like you had Kirby on last time. He's big on working
Mhm.
in those and stuff. We have like an odd amount of people in Utah who are really good at working on those a bunch. And I'm like, it's an astronomical amount of work to keep those in good condition. I'm like, if I accidentally punch the screen because I died one more time to Hibachi in Dodonpachi, uh, I could just chuck in another LG screen. I'm
Man.
like,
Right, right. Because he was telling me that there's no new stock. There's new old stock. And so
mm-hmm.
anything that you can find is like in somebody's warehouse, hidden away, and they either don't know what they're sitting on or it's an arm and a leg.
Yet new stock is something like, oh, my buddy with the K7000. That's like a CRT, whatever. That's really good. Uh, they have one lying around, and they're like, "Oh, I don't got space. I'll sell it to somebody." That's the extent of repairing those
Mhm.
or replacing those. Otherwise, it's all up to you to recap everything, do everything you can to fix them. It's a whole thing. It's super fucking cool. Like it's
Mhm.
unbelievably cool. It's so out of my element though. That's why, at least for me, I'm like, I need the baby shit.
Yeah, yeah. This is the kind of weird like back and forth that me and my brother used to have. He was the first person I ever knew with a Mister, and he was always into like the hardware side, and I was always into like the software side. Like he would build a new computer or build a Mister or all this other shit, and then I'd be like, "Oh, what are you gonna play on it?" And he's like, "I don't know. It's just been after I built it. It's just been sitting in the corner." And there's got to be like a good middle ground there, which I see by like meeting everyone in this community. But yeah, like then you get to people like me who console only gamed for like 12 years and then a year ago got
Mhm.
back into PC gaming, and people are like, "Yeah, you need a 6090." And I'm like, "Huh?" What is that?
It's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's
Talking about like the dudes who just like build stuff but don't actually like then do anything with it after they're done. I've seen that trap before, and there's nothing wrong with it
mhm.
because like a part of the cool part of these things is like getting things set up or doing cool things. But I used to be in that position where I'd like, okay, we got this whole arcade set up. We got all the emulators with all the ROMs, and the settings are all good and everything's sick. And then you look at that big ROM list, and then you just don't play anything, or you
Mhm.
pop up like Ninja Gaiden for like a stage, and then you're like, okay, cool. I don't know what to do. There's like this huge list of games, and then you don't do anything.
So
I'm like, that's a trap I feel like
how do you get
commonly falls
how
into.
do you get out of that trap?
You just pick a game and then you play it. People have backlogs and then they look at a game and they're like, "Oh, I wanna learn ZX."
Mhm.
But if I learn ZX, then I'm not learning like maybe I should learn something like Battle Garaga or one of the more prominent titles first. And then you don't learn ZX. And then you also don't learn Battle Garaga. And now you're doing nothing. What you gotta do is you just like I need to learn a game. Huh, let's play Ray Force. Like nothing about the backlog matters. Just grab a game and just like go at that one.
Yeah, because it can be really intimidating to go down because most of these are free and or super cheap, and easily accessible in some way, whether that's Steam or consoles or emulation. And I
Hmm.
find that sometimes I will just somebody said this to me, I can't remember who it was, but they were like, I just Netflix it. I think it was Germinator who was like, I'll just Netflix it. I'll end up staring at my list of games and then be like, I could play this, I could play that. And then for 2 hours, that's all I do is just go down the list of games that I have and I never pick one.
I have that effect, but with replays.
Yeah.
I'm like, how about instead of learning a game or playing a game, I'll just watch like 3 hours of somebody's routes and just like I have a so before the whole part of big motivation of doing videos or doing other stuff is to actually get off your ass and like learn some stuff.
Hmm.
Because before that, I would just instead of like coming back from work and then try like playing a game or working on or learning a game, I would just sit there and watch replays for like 3 hours and then be like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I know this game now. I've been watching replays of it.
I'm a enormous believer in replays. I have
Mhm.
so many saved, it's out of control. I almost find watching replays more fun than, like, playing the games themselves.
Explain to me, because the way that I see them is I feel oh man, it's weird because more that I play at like a increasingly higher level, I can see like the usefulness in them, right? Because if you'd asked me 2 months
Mhm.
ago if I'd watch a replay for information versus entertainment, I would have said no. But then in certain cases, I think it was I was playing Viper Phase One, and my wife was like, "Oh, here's Chinopoulos' um, replay of Viper Phase One," and there was like stuff because I was trying to really go through it. I wasn't just bullshitting around with it. There was stuff that I actually like took from that, and therefore I finally, for the first time, had found like nuggets that I can use in a replay. So, how do you take that, like take useful stuff from replays that you find and then can like build it into your own strategy?
So, my way this might not jive with everybody, but it's how you learn stupid fucking fast. Like, really, really fucking fast. Instead of watching a replay and, like, watching replays for fun is cool. You, like, pull up some crazy ass you pull up anything by Jamers and you watch and go, "Holy shit." And then
Mhm.
there's watching replays for, like, to get tech or to get a route or something, and, like, you get like, watch and pick things out. What I like to do is I like hard plagiarism. I like spending a shit ton of time hard scouting out replays, hunting down every replay I can find of exactly what type of route I want to do. So if
Mhm.
I want to do like low rank Garaga, I'm looking for every golden bat low rank replay. Is this one picking up metals or not? Or is this one, maybe this one does, maybe this one picks an option early, and trying to gather as many of like the type of run I want to do. And then once I've like compared them to be the ones that like I kind of like, then it's hard plagiarism. Going like 5 second by 5 second in save states and yoinking literally every single movement they do. It sounds so miserable. It's so unbelievably fast. You
Mhm.
can learn unbelievably fast because you literally have the cheat sheet right there. And like if you spent time like comparing the replays, it takes a bit of time. Like
Yeah.
I've watched so many replays for so long that you can kind of pick apart why people might be doing a certain thing. Just like oh, they're not shooting this enemy. Why would they not be shooting?
Mhm.
That enemy looks scary. Just like through looking at a bunch of replays over time, you kind of get a feel of like oh, maybe you kill that enemy and a bunch of enemies will spawn. Like Cave will do that a bunch. But like you have the replay literally side by side. I have a few streams of like learning a game from scratch,
Mhm.
and like this isn't a brag. This is just a talking about exactly how fucking fast you can go if you have a replay that like has your objective you want. I did a stream of Dragon Blaze. It took 4 hours to go from not having any route to clearing the game.
That's
Because
crazy.
beforehand, I, like, scouted, like, a rob route that was super, super good,
Mhm.
used tons of resources to, like, make all the hard sections easy, and then, like, you just copy and paste. You just go, like, 5 second by 5 second or 10 second by 10 second, figuring out why they're moving everywhere
Yeah.
and copying their movement, and then, like, it sounds so miserable, but I'm the type of person who I really like to know what I'm doing
Mhm.
rather than trying to bash my head on a wall. So I would rather like spend this time to figure out this like exact movement. And now from now on, I don't need to worry about anything going wrong. Suddenly, this whole like this movement will always work consistently this exact way, and no matter how crazy it looks, it doesn't even matter because it's a non-factor anymore
You've
because
committed it
that
to memory.
replay.
Mhm.
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 So it's like it sounds painful, but you can learn so fast by finding like the exact type of replay you would want to do,
Mhm.
and then like literally copying everything. Like like I just did like DFK video or something, and that entire thing is like yoinked from another route, and then anything that I didn't like would be things I would adjust. But
Mhm.
like 95% of that is completely yoinked from something else. And like these games are so building blocks on each other. People put replays and you yoink stuff you like from those. Everything is like a bunch of people's collective knowledge built up. So it's like everybody's done all the work. You just need to pick apart the stuff you want,
Yeah.
and you could go so fast.
So,
I've been rambling about this because this is something I'm big on.
yeah, yeah. So if you had to, let me see if I can like word this correctly. If you had to like self judge, right? What would you say would be your like best um like part of yourself, right? Like your best quality. Would it be your memory? Would it be your knowledge, or would it be your skill level? Right? Which I guess skill level is kind of like a catch-all term. I mean, like reflexes, I guess, is what I mean when I mean that.
Mhm. So starting with the worst, I can't dodge. Sometimes I could dodge, but to me, being able to dodge means you're able to dodge consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So like being able to flail something crazy every now and then, that's like uh even if you escape some terrible situation, it's like I really don't want to even be in that situation to begin with.
Yeah.
But like the best thing is I don't have a good memory, but what I do have is I'm the thing that like I don't think of myself as like a particularly skilled player,
Mm-hmm.
but I am willing to go in like talking the replay again. I am willing to go step by step copying that.
Yeah.
Like you don't need I used to be so scared of 1cc's because I thought you had to reach a certain threshold of you can now dodge this well or you can now execute this well.
Mm-hmm.
When it's like the key turning point was realizing that all of these routes that these good players do auto account for everything. You don't need execution. You just have to follow the route and it does everything for you.
Okay.
And then the only things you have to worry about are specific like kill moments where you need to lock in and actually like do either adaptive dodging or like be careful not to like if anything goes wrong being able to snap and like fix the problem.
Right.
So
Right.
like I talk about doj is pretty polarizing if you love it or hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, but doj kind of plays itself. If you go like you have your hard route set, it plays its entire self and you only have to worry about certain kill points. So
Okay.
like on stage 1-4, there's these zipper rails which are random in which where they'll spawn in. So you have to adapt a bit. And all or like the stage 5 beehive, which is just hard enough execution that you might have to adapt a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You just sit down with the route and like get everything tight enough that it automatically plays itself. You don't even need to do anything. You're like watching yourself play the game as like all these bullets are flinging by and like completely missing.
That's got to be a crazy feeling.
It it's not too hard to get. It's like
Mm-hmm.
just following somebody's route who's already structured to handle everything.
Mm-hmm.
Then you don't need to worry about things. You only have to worry about certain specific things.
Well, I
So I
know
rambled so much I forgot your original question.
you actually answered it by design of that. Yeah, because I'd asked like your best quality, right? Would it be knowledge, reflexes, or I forgot the see even I forgot the third one. I was enraptured by your answer because you know I know that when people talk about you, because you have been consistently brought up, either I've left it in some and then I've cut it out in other ones because people would go on at length about you and about the good that you've done in their like shmup, play. And you're known as the brutalizer. I think
The
that
brutal life.
I think that has been the adjective that has been used to describe you the most. Would be a Pan brutalizes this game. Pan is brutal. And when it comes to like, I think Kirby had even said something. And I'm sure Kirby will correct me if it's not him. That was like, I think it's crazy that Pan can learn all of this and perform all of this in such a like short time frame that and then move on to something else immediately like afterwards.
hmm So the secret is I don't brutalize shit. The runs you plagiarize are actually what's pulling all the weight.
Mhm.
But the learning in a fast time frame has pros and cons because you forget your route instantly.
Yeah.
Like if you told me to play Escalade 1, I made a whole guide on that. I don't know what to do in that game. I'd have to go back and look at it.
That's actually how yeah,
Uh,
yeah, the for this yeah, for this, run, I'm actually referencing my own run.
that that's like if it's been longer than a month, I've already forgotten how to do it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, I think the last run I could remember how to do, like the furthest run, I think I could probably still clear a Kaikatana Shin. That's as far back as my memory goes.
Yeah, yeah, is there ever a run that no matter how long it's been since you've played it, because of a certain aspect will, like, stick with you? Or maybe not the whole run, but, like, certain aspects of that run?
Probably either second loop Dodonpachi
Mhm.
or SDOJ. They're just the most amount of time I put into them, or
Yeah.
maybe even like Gate of Thunder. Maybe that's the most amount of time I put into a game is in Gate of Thunder.
Really?
Believe it or not, longer than the two alls.
That's crazy to me because I remember watching your video for SDOJ, and you're like, This was a pain in the ass. You're gonna want to keep Autobomb on, and like, unless you want to learn all of this yourself, use this, do that. I'm also referencing this run in it, and it was like, wow, this man." And I was doing it on novice mode at the time. Like that's how long it had been. Like how long ago I'd watched this, and I was like, he's doing a normal with this, had gotten it in this, such and such amount of time, and was just like, it seemed for us, the ones watching, it seems like you're blazing through it. And I know that like with your live streams, you go into a lot of what it actually takes of like, even though it's quicker than a normal person, it still takes work.
You can see directly how like whenever you're if you assume like a if you look at some player and you're like, wow, that player's really good. I bet he opens up the game and just messes the game up. If
Mhm.
I open up any game I haven't like intimately routed recently, then I'm gonna die just like anybody else.
Yeah.
It's just like jumping on that replay. You picked the correct choice of doing SDOJ on novice. That game on normal is so hard.
Yeah, even on
But
novice is fucking hard for me at the time.
there's a lot of like grinding out sections over and over in a safe state to make sure it like goes exactly the way you want each time.
Mhm. Yeah,
You don't get to see that stuff off stream where you're just like screaming at the game because you can't get something consistent. And then you pop up on stream and you're like, this is how you do this section.
yeah. Look how fucking
But
slick I am. That's actually what I wanted to go into next was save states. So I used to be super against using save states because it's not that I considered them a form of cheating or anything. I was just like, no, I'm gonna learn better if I just go through the loop of putting in a quarter, starting over, then going in. And you learn like the first two stages, three stages that way. But then every time you might get a tiny bit further every time, but you're also spending a lot more time too. Like I remember actually it was Viper Phase One was the first game I ever started using save states in, and I had read like the full extent of the jam and everything where it was like, hey, if you don't want to waste your time, then do this. And I know that you have some thoughts on the usefulness of save states.
So you brought up full extent of the jam. That was
Mhm.
like huge turning point for me. I entered shmups via Toho.
Mhm.
And Toho has a really good difficulty curve. I honestly think Toho is the best possible way to get into shmups just because of that. But the thing with those is you play through easy modes and you can just play through a run and you lose and then you just start again and then you go. Or even in the normal modes, I used to just go through all the Toho normal modes and just see if how far we could get. Oh damn, we died. We go back to the beginning and we go through. And then I'm like, man, all those players who could do like lunatic, they must just have they must have practiced this game for like a year, or they
Mhm.
must have reached a certain level of proficiency that they can just dodge stuff. And while you do get experience through that, reading the full extent of the jam, which that's like a Prometheus's article. He was like a Western Dodonpachi world record holder with
Mhm.
like AL and Dodonpachi, where he literally just goes through and he's like, open up MAME. You're gonna set up these save states, and for each little section, you're gonna put a save state on and then grind that shit out until you could do that section. And he's saying he's got all of these for each of these sections. And that was like a huge, I used to just be like, I'll just do normal and like, oh, I could do this. Yeah. Or, oh, I can't do this. I'll just try it again and try it again and try to, and you just don't ever clear because uh it takes too long. It takes too long to practice via brute force.
Mhm.
You do save states, you learn like 20 times faster. So I'm a huge I will not play a game without save states or without a really good stage select just because of how quickly you could do those on. And it's so good for testing things. Like the my pet I really like knowing what I'm doing in a run. I don't
Mhm.
want to ever have a point in a run where I'm like, I think I could just get by here or this part looks scary, but in my just going through it, maybe it hasn't become a problem yet. Those are the ones that are gonna fuck you when you're in a real run.
Yes.
So, like, ironing all of those out, it's like you just dip it in safe states for a little bit. Oh, okay, cool. That section is no longer an issue permanently.
Mhm.
That's why safe states are so good. There's no like, okay, I'm entering, let's say I open Ketsui, and now I'm playing through stage one, and I have to like lock in and make sure not to get tagged by any bullets in Ketsui stage one, and make sure I do the boss good. And now I got to do stage two. And by the time you're on stage three, four, five, you're exhausted
Yeah.
because you're always trying to make sure nothing can snag you. You go in with save states and iron it out to a point where it's like it's solved. It then you can't be hit.
Mhm.
So like I was talking about those killing points earlier, where it's like you want to have like as minimum possible killing points in your run where you actually have to lock in and think about it. If you've like ironed out everything in save states beforehand, then the game plays itself.
Yeah.
Like I got to a point in SDOJ where I called it the stage four waiting room, where I could get through like I could fall asleep and stage one, two, three, and like until stage four mid boss would just die. And I wouldn't have to think about it just because we already did the work. That shit is already solved. The movement just carries everything. Don't have
Mhm.
to think about it. We could just snooze for a bit, and then now the only part where we actually have to lock in is like this kill point, which in that game is the stage four mid boss because it's fucked up.
Yeah. I think that is a common misconception though, is like the amount of like people that watch someone else play and are like, this man is just skilling all of this.
You there is that. There's like blind players who go. There's people who like blind clear like Toho lunatics, which is crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like you have enough experience that you can piece together like the type of section that this is. You probably have a good idea of what the strat would look like in a constructed run.
Mhm.
But like you don't like sight read these games unless it's like a very specifically a game which is sight readable. Like a
Mhm.
compile is good for that if you don't want to route things. You just toss in like Spriggan or like something like that, and then you don't have to
GGLS.
worry about hard routing.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. There's games like that that are good for sight reading, but like the good players are there because of practice mode. I remember
Mhm.
Eartheon came out and fucking didn't have a training mode. I'd just pop in Discord and I just see everybody putting their thoughts on Eartheon, and then I'd see Jamers being fucking pissed. It's like, where the fuck is training mode? Where is training mode? How did they not release this with training mode?
Did they ever put that in?
I'm not sure.
Well, I know, like, whenever as soon as everybody decided that they could just fucking take the ROM out of it, that became like a non-issue because
Yeah,
then you could just
effectively,
save state. Yeah.
yeah, you just have safe states in there now.
Mhm.
Like the strat is you buy the game proper and then you go grab the ROM and just save
Yeah,
state
yeah, just
for
fuck.
like practice.
That's pretty much all it is that Bitwave like licensed an emulator, and then that's all it is like gens like running that.
Mhm.
And it's like I paid you guys $25 for this, and this is what I get, you know?
Yeah, so I don't find like a moral failing with that. I don't find a
Right.
moral failing with like stuff like that in general.
Mm.
Like when I played a DFK, I didn't practice in the port. I
Mhm.
went into MAME and ran the ROM of that and grinded out save states in that, and then we do actual runs on the port of the game.
Well, because MAME is just
I'm like, I have
quicker.
no problem with that.
Yeah, yeah. MAME is just quicker to do save states in, honestly, because it's instantaneous. You don't have to do
Mhm.
a certain mode. You don't have to go in and like quit to a menu, or if they're even available at all. I guess what I'm saying about Eartheon is it's like you're selling a game in an emulator. It's not necessarily a moral failing. I see what you're saying though, but it is a failing of you're taking away these features like save states that are available in any emulator, and you're not giving them to me for what reason for $26, $25.
Mhm.
Mm. It's
Yeah.
just it's a giant question mark more than like a failing. I'm not really like mad about it. Just like how time is important. So is money in giving certain companies. You're telling them, hey, this is okay to do this to me.
Yeah, and, like, you could have done more. If it feels like either your experience is better on an emulator or what you got was just an emulator
Hmm.
with, like, nothing else, then it's like, then I'm just gonna play the ROM. It probably has better input delay. I could save state through it, whatever. It's gotta have something that's, like, especially better. So it's either gotta uh have some replay feature that's nice, like a Kaikatana Shin has replay takeover.
Yep.
It's gotta have, like, at least put fucking save states in there. But, like, have y you can't just be a port of, like, the ROM of the game that functions somewhat similar to the ROM, because then I'm
Right.
just gonna emulate the game.
Or or
It's
or,
gotta
or not have replays in there at all. Like I've had a
Yeah,
lot
that's a
of yeah.
I think the most recent Night Striker game doesn't have replays.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, "What do you mean? What do
Yeah,
you mean?"
M2, come on, guys. You guys know
What
this shit.
I'm like, "You guys are so goated at everything. How is the standalone games having weird shit like that?"
That was a strange game to think about it because the game itself is so good, but like everything surrounding it was so weird. It was like hyped up for a year at least, I know of, and then just kind of like came out unceremoniously, and then like a month later, Iuchi's like Iuchi's I'm not working on this game anymore note that he put on Steam sounded like a fucking suicide note.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's some behind the scenes there.
yeah, yeah. One that I would be extremely curious to find out.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend to know the developmental side
no.
of things, but I just assume something was happening there.
Hmm. So,
That's why something missing.
I know you'd mentioned a couple minutes ago of like uh like video making, right? Of that you would watch these replays and you had all of these you would watch them for information, you watch them for fun. What made you start wanting to make videos?
And make videos. So I've been a hermit for the longest time. I've not interacted with the shmup community even in the slightest up until like a year ago, whenever Shmup Slam, the last one, happened.
Hmm.
So I would consume content and stuff that people would put up. I'd watch all the latest Jamers clear video or something. Or like I would watch the living shit out of all of the Pearl average super player enjoyers,
Yes.
average super play enjoyer videos, or any of the 1cc guides he makes. The like STG weekly stuff.
Hmm.
And like wanting that exact type of thing and wanting more of that, I was like, maybe it could get to a point where I could do something similar like that.
Yeah.
And and then finding like there's a lot of stuff. There is a lot of good things on explaining some of the higher level stuff. There's a
Hmm.
lot of good like high level Garaga stuff. You like look at Icarus's channel and he's gonna have a shit ton of stuff on that. You have a lot of the STG weeklies often go over like really high level replays or things like that. There is out there a bunch of survival stuff, but not in like massive amounts. It's a lot better nowadays. Like
Yeah.
nowadays, a lot more people are making commentaries. A lot more people are putting out like they don't need to be like perfect score stuff for them to want to do a commentary, which is cool. But I like there's kind of like that hole there for a while.
Hmm.
So I wanted to put something out there and I can't fucking score. I can, but it would like it takes a lot longer. It
Yeah.
like octuples the amount of time you spend in a game. And like I want to experience a bunch of games. And that helps that there's like a hole in like people want to just know how to clear a game. A lot of
Hmm.
people think like I used to think a 1cc was an impossible endeavor. Spend a year on Dodonpachi 1 all and then like get to a point because I thought 1cc's were like anomalies. I thought
Yeah.
these were like quarter feeder games that people with wizardry have figured out how to clear on 1 quarter. When no, these are designed to be cleared on a quarter. And if you aren't scoring, they are a lot easier than you might think
Hmm.
if you know where to look. And I've gotten really good because I watched so many replays at identifying like the really specifically good survival runs. And I'm like,
Yes.
okay, maybe I'm not good at execution. Maybe I'm not good at like I can't bring score play stuff. That shit's terrifying. If like you want to make any information thing on like high level stuff, I'm like, maybe not me. But I can identify a really good survival route
Hmm.
and I can communicate why that route's good.
Yeah.
So that was like my main inspiration to actually like start on them. There was like all the Pearl videos are so good and I wanted more of that. So I'm like, maybe I'll do something like that. Seeing like Hidden Fortresses videos was like a massive one to see there. And then I think my main inspiration for actually being on camera was watching like Hazy Levels stuff. Because
Oh
Hazy
yeah.
Levels like the addition of having your face on there and everything adds like a whole lot to
Hmm.
those videos. And that was like blatantly obvious on anything Hazy was doing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all of those kind of compacted to now you're stuck with me. Unfortunate.
So it was a lot of wanting to see more of what you were doing, or like filling a hole in what you saw was like really not being done at that time.
hmm
Hmm.
There is a lot of people who want to just clear a game, and it's unless you like if you don't know where to look, then it's hard to find. You can find lots of score information
Yeah.
online, but they're not going to help you with like maybe you're dying to stage 2 Dodonpachi tank boss. And like it's hard to identify uh like cuz if you just look online, you're just going to find really high score stuff. They probably like do the tank in a way different way than if you just wanted as easily as possible to kill it. So I'm like that's a little hole we could fill.
So what scares you the most about like score play, like making videos for score play, other than just there already being a ton of them out there?
I like score. There's a ton of runs that I would play for score.
Hmm.
The problem is they take so long and I have such a little attention span and
Right.
I want to experience a whole bunch of games. And what something I noticed, let me turn here real quick. I'll make you edit something. I gotta turn off
Okay.
Discord notifications. Actually, maybe you don't even hear that.
No, I don't. No, I don't hear that at
Okay,
all.
good.
Your noise canceling on your microphone is insanely good.
Lucky. All right, what was I saying? I was going into
Score.
okay, so what I noticed is what I actually care about in a run is not how high of a score I can get. It's how interesting the run is.
Right.
And realizing that survival runs could also be interesting. So, like the obvious is you look at low rank Yagawa game runs where they do like everything against the engine to try to keep it as low as possible.
Hmm.
I found that I get as much enjoyment at finding how you can skirt around the game to like mess up the game as I do like scoring a game.
Right. Like
So that
exploitation. Yeah.
So getting the same satisfaction from a survival run and it being faster, combined with if I want to stream a bunch of games, if I'm like, I'm gonna play Escaluda 2 for score, so I could play it on stream. I'll see you guys in 2 months, and then maybe I'll come back with my preliminary scoring route.
Right,
Where
right. Only
whereas,
then
like
just starting, yeah.
yeah, whereas, like, if I do a survival route, it does not take that long.
Mhm,
Like, if just the hardest part of the getting the survival route is just finding the one replay that does everything that makes it all easy.
right.
And then once you got that, then it's just copy and paste, and now voila, Naga appear. Hey guys, what's up? Uh, here's how we delete the game without needing to do anything scary. Like on the survival run, so I found those just as interesting as the score ones,
Mhm.
and they're faster, and they also, like, will help out people who just want to get a clear.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's kind of like a triple whammy there.
Mhm.
So that's what I've hard focused on. I've done some hard games, and they're like
Yeah, you have.
survival runs of hard games, but,
Mhm.
like, for the most part, they're just all in that ballpark. And I really don't the interesting thing about shmups being like a single player genre where we're not you can be competing with other people, but like ultimately you're just kind of doing what you want to do is I don't really give a shit how people have different motivations for wanting to do their runs. Maybe somebody wants to like prove a point and show they're like wow, that guy there, he's a really strong player because he got this run with this score.
Mhm.
Or some people might just want to clear or whatever. I really don't care if a run is like a, oh, you did that run, but it wasn't a score run, so it's kind of a chump clear.
Right.
Literally doesn't matter to me in the slightest. In fighting games, I pick all the bullshit top tiers. And if you're like, oh, you only won because you're on the bullshit top tier, I'm like, hell yeah, that's why we won.
I
That's
fucking
why I picked
won.
the
Yeah.
character. That's why I picked the character because I like the winning part. But like, so that leans into like the survival runs being
Mhm.
interesting to me in like the specifically constructed survival runs and them being like really fast. It's pretty good. And
Yeah.
I did not realize for the longest time that survival runs could be interesting because for a while I just assumed you're either going to play a game blind and you're sight reading it and you're just starting at stage 1 and just sitting at the bottom of the screen trying not to die.
Mhm.
And then the other end is like the score player stuff. And I thought, why the hell would you route a game and not be going for score? You're already putting the work in. You're
Mhm.
already putting the work in to like construct a route. Why not route it for score? So like when I started out, I played Batsugun doing the Jupiter Milk. That was
Yeah.
like my first clear. I did fucking Jupiter Milk in Batsugun original. And I did a Escaluda. I just copied like a frame by frame Jamer's run because
Mhm.
he had closed captioning for comments, which was crazy useful. And then I tried learning Escaluda 2 for score. And I tried learning the world record route because why learn a shitty
Jesus
route when you could learn the
Christ.
world record route?
Ugh.
And good fucking God, that game is unbelievably good. It is unbelievably fucking psycho
It is. It really
in the
is.
world record routing. It's like I think I put like 25 hours in and I didn't make it past stage 3 of like that type of a scoring route. So like hitting with that and realizing that this shit is too nuts.
Mhm.
And then I found two exact things. I found Buffy. Buffy put out a replay and a commentary of a Dimahu, Great Maho Daisakusen, the last
Great.
like Maho
Yeah.
game with Birthday. And Birthday in that game has a bomb that just one shots all the bosses. And the bosses
Damn,
that
I didn't
don't
know
get
that.
one shot, oh yeah. If you look up Buffy and
Okay.
like a Great Maho commentary,
All right.
but this was a revelation to me because if you've seen score play of Demahu, it's fucking psycho.
It's psycho, dude.
Unbelievably crazy
The
game.
collecting all
It's
108 like items
mhm.
and the weird like polarity system that kind of works, kind of doesn't, but like the charge things, it's so complicated.
It's the whole thing. If you ever want to have like, this is my game, that's a game that you need to be your game because it like you can deep dive into that.
Hmm.
But realizing that like, huh, he's picking birthday and he's only grabbing like one or two sets at the very beginning of the game just for speed and like damage or something. He's grabbing like boots and something. And then like literally was avoiding sets for the entire time to like keep the rank low.
Hmm.
And every single boss, you hit the bomb button and it dies. And if it doesn't die, you hit the bomb button twice and it dies. So like so like and it wasn't just like it sounds like it would be just a chump run where you're just sitting at the bottom and you're like, yeah, you just kind of kill everything and you bomb the bosses. That's boring. No, it was like routed meticulously. It
Hmm.
was like, okay, we got a big red enemy from the left coming in, so we'll know to be blue here. And by happenstance, when we do our blue charge, it like kills all the Zakos also.
Hmm.
So it's like I looked at that and I'm like, whoa, routing like for pure survival could be cool. And then the other big thing I hit is in like Shmup Slam like 3 or something. This was the big one that got me to commit to doing survival runs and looking for specifically constructed survival runs.
Hmm.
Hausu did a Donpachi 1-all at Shmup Slam just for a pure consistency route, playing Donpachi with like the sea ship. And like he had Plasma on commentary. Plasma's like my favorite person to listen to in
Plasma's
any
awesome.
commentary stuff in the Shmup
Plasma's
stuff.
awesome.
I am always happy to hear Plasma voice and Icarus voice and everything. There's a
Hmm.
lot of good people talking, but those two are like super notable. But like him going through like the specific things and like ways he's doing to make Donpachi like fall over dead was like so interesting to me because I thought survival runs were just sitting at the bottom of the screen and just kind of like feeling it out and like realizing that there could be interesting stuff. And then you
Yeah.
dig into like low rank Yagawa runs. You dig into like even like so I've done a lot of the cave games and even the cave games where you don't have like rank you need to manage or anything. There's a lot of ways you can like we did pro gear recently and you can do a very safe pro gear route that will get you to the final boss with like 7 total lives.
Hmm.
And it's like there's so many cool runs that will either just get you all the resources you need and make all the like easy of the hard sections easy. A Kai Katana Shin, if you don't go for score, you can like route all of your katanas to hit every single hard section in the game. That's a
Everything.
really
Yeah.
comfy game.
Yeah.
Literally every big enemy, every big section, you can route to just completely mess up. There's so many cool survival routes. I wasn't sure if other people are as obsessed with them as I am. But since I don't particularly care about being viewed as like a strong player,
Hmm.
and I don't particularly care about having a chump run versus a not chump run, these are like fascinate me. Like I hunt for these all the time. I have a spreadsheet. It's of like potential survival runs I might be interested in.
Okay.
It this is like the third time I've tried making it because it keeps bloating. It's currently at 195 runs before you
Jesus.
consider all the 20 like Toho games. I'm like, I live for this shit. And I don't know if anybody obsesses for this shit as hard as I do. I found all the Japanese keywords that are like that like you put in and you're gonna find exactly what you're
Hmm.
looking for, like low rank or like things that are designed to mess the game up. You find like a Darius Gaiden run that uses like specific auto fires at certain parts, so you're always dumping the game's rank down,
Yeah.
and you don't
Yeah.
ever need to bump it up. I talk rank a lot just because that's the easiest to like understand for like
Right, right, for kind of
foreplay versus not.
everybody. Yeah. Yeah. So what strikes me is in that entire conversation is your game knowledge is out of control. By the way, like at least that's how it seems. Is being able to reference certain games, certain players. you know, and by the way, I had like PTSD when you brought up Great Maho Dasakuzan because
Yeah.
like the way the bullet patterns are in that game, your ship looks gigantic, and I have a really hard time knowing exactly where my hitbox is on that one. So dodging some of those crazy, like not the shots that you can like absorb, like depending on your polarity, but just some of like just the machine gun fire from some of those guys was insane.
Mhm.
And yeah, so that's one takeaway from that entire thing you just said. And another takeaway is the fact that you're kind of proving wrong the whole like survival replays can be boring.
Yeah, they're not boring. They're so interesting. They could be just as interesting as score play. I have that same issue with Rising stuff where like you can't really like a micro dodging is way harder than like your cave games just because of like the hitbox is not quite as small as those and like the
Hmm.
way the movement is that you more like it's more like strategic dodging than like mini micro ones.
Yeah, like being at the right place at the right time. I've been I put in about a month into Tsukio Garentai so far,
Hmm.
and I fucking love that game so much. And I ran across DMC's world record video of that, and I'm like, holy fuck, where he like gets 11 bombs and then continuously collects them like throughout the rest of the game. He's like, if I drop one, then there goes my bonus and I have to recollect them or something like that. And then he's doing it low rank, so he's not like powering up his ship or anything. But I saw that and I'm like, okay, so there's that, you know, I'm not going to be a world record holder, but like score matters enough for me to where like sometimes just the clear's not good enough. However, I know that me and you have talked about this. Me and Chris have talked about this, like a high drama run, right? Of like going in
Hmm.
there and like it's intense. It doesn't really matter what the fuck I score. If it's got like a almost like a beginning, a middle, and an end, like a good climax. I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. Like I'm good with that.
You should be happy with those runs. It's very easy to make a mistake in a run and then be like, well, I don't want to upload it because I died in a stupid spot. Or like, man, I was planning to like have this be all no mist or whatever, and then I lost like 3 lives or something. But if you do have the drama in there, viewing wise, super, super interesting. And
Hmm.
even not entertainment wise, what you don't see in a lot of really good replays is how they fix problems. So like even from an educational perspective, it's like you see how like, okay, this thing went wrong for this person. Like in your run, you died there where you weren't hella not planning to die there.
Hmm.
And then like seeing how you managed to like recover that.
I was gonna
So
say
it's like a super.
recovery. Yep.
Hmm. Like you never want your run to be a drama run when you're actually doing the run.
Hmm.
But like if you do get the clear with the drama run, you should hella like I don't care if you have no lives remaining, those are the sick ones. Or like it doesn't have to be perfect run. If it has interesting things going on in it, you should feel happy about uploading those regardless of it like, oh, I just wanted to no miss and I died twice. It's like do it anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah. But put it out anyways. Failed runs can be some of the most interesting ones. That's what people. Yeah, I've watched. You know, some of Hazy's failed runs, Hidden Fortresses failed runs, where those can be like, hey, I learned this from this, or hey, I made this mistake. I know not to make that next time, or just sometimes some good jokes come out of it, or some good like you know some good comedy will come out of it. I did a Chorin Shaw run last night where I made it through the first loop and I was like so fucking excited because it's the first time I'd done it. And then went back and went entered the second loop, did the first level, killed the first boss, forgot about revenge bullets, and then got
Yo.
hit during the results screen. And the fucking
Oh, that's
game,
that's so mean.
the fucking game was like game over while I'm getting my results. And I'm like, you know what? I almost like want to put that out just because that's fucking bullshit.
You should. That's so that's funnier than anything that can happen in the run.
Right? I was doing
You get hit. There's I can't remember which run it is, but Chinopolis brings up a run where it's like it's something like R-Type 1, where like the result screen pops up like oh, round 6 completed or whatever. And then your ship just flies to its standard position before it goes off to the next stage.
Mhm.
And then something hits them. Like something hits them in that screen and they die. And now you're back and it's fucking R-Type. So now you're at a shitty checkpoint with no power-ups.
Man,
That stuff is hilarious.
recovering in R-Type and recovering in Gradius are two of, like, my least favorite things. If anything, almost every time I return to those games, I'm like, "Do I want to do that?" And I usually talk myself out of, like, doing it, even though I do really like the Salamander games, but for some
Mhm.
reason, R-Type and Gradius, except for Gradius 5, that's the only one I really don't have an issue with. Recovery is such a pain in the ass that, especially going in with like no plan, is not advisable for me at least.
Mhm. I have strong feelings about that exactly. The R-Type and the Gradius stuff. Before I made videos, I was originally planning on just putting a one-off video because I thought it would be fun
Hmm.
of like how hard is R-Type? Because I was also scared of Gradius syndrome. I'm like, I don't want to run where I literally cannot fuck up ever or the run's dead.
Hmm.
So I jumped into R-Type because I'd never experienced that type style of a game before. And then I like jumped into like Gradius 2 and things like that. I got some feelings about those. I don't think Gradius 2 has Gradius syndrome.
Really? Okay.
I
Okay.
I think because in Gradius 2 you can be hit 7 times before your run's over
Damn.
because you you have your 3-hit shield and
Yeah.
then you stock
Yeah.
another 3-hit shield. I'm like, there's sections of the game that are gonna force you to take like your hitbox is smaller than your shield hitbox.
Hmm.
So there's sections like the high speed section is just gonna rip your shield out. So you have to make sure not to fuck that one up. Or if you ram into an enemy, like the very, very final part of the game has a bullshit walker that's like a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, where
But
you're
like
like
for the
underneath
most
it. Yeah.
yeah, that part is super terrifying. You should practice that more than the entire rest of the game, so you don't drop your run there, or at least make it to the checkpoint where it gets you to the nothing final boss.
Mm-hmm.
But like going through Gradius, I'm like, I could be hit so many times as long as I don't make a critical error that ends the run. That I was shocked at how much I liked Gradius too.
Really.
Whereas R type is not like that. R type, you cannot die.
Mm-hmm.
You absolutely cannot die, period. You are not allowed to. It's not a thing that is possible. But you are so strong in R type, and it's such a slow pace. It's such slow scrolling. Enemies are very slow. You're so powerful because of the force pod that blocks everything
Mm-hmm.
that it's mostly a routing. Like I find R type to be easy execution with the caveat that bumps its difficulty up of you cannot fuck up anything.
Yeah.
Especially in R-Type 1, you need 2 bits by the end of the game, which they come like you don't get all of them until super late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever die, even if you managed a lucky checkpoint recovery, you're not going to get those bits back unless you get super lucky on the second to last boss. So you might as well reset.
Yeah.
So it's such a weird. You are super, super strong. You are not required to do that much crazy shit, but the threat of like ending your run on a pop is there. I find that it's such a weird dynamic.
It's really
And I feel like,
demoralizing.
yeah, it's you have to anytime you die in that game, you have to immediately go back through save state and like make sure that thing you died to can never happen again.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, if you do that, like that game's so static and so like slow paced that like odds are if you die to something, you go fix it, it won't happen again. And you just keep doing that until nothing can go wrong.
Yeah.
But like I always feel like R type has so much bigger Gradius syndrome than Gradius syndrome could ever have. At least until like fucking Gradius 3 and Gradius 4. Where
Yeah.
like and even Gradius 3, you could die on the you're like expected to die on the ice cube section. So like if you can make it to there at least.
That part is fucking bullshit. I'm not a big fan of 3 or 4. I really like Gaiden. I really like Gradius Gaiden.
Yeah.
I think it's my second favorite behind 5. But even it has like an ice cube section. I think in the very first level, there's like a section where like it's not ice cube section. It's like snow is falling on you and it's like forcing
Mhm.
your ship down. And there's dudes beneath you and they're these weird like spinny guys. But
Yeah, you can, like, destroy platforms and, like, the shit will move.
hmm R type, the first R type I remember liking was Third Lightning on the Super Nintendo.
Mhm.
It's actually one of the few shmups I got into as a kid.
That's a great one
Hmm
as a kid, because that one's not gonna, like, brutalize you like the arcade ones. Like, you can, like, die and, like, still go through it.
hmm
And, like, checkpoint shmups are good as a kid because, like, you're forced to get through the section because you don't fucking know as a kid the whole 1cc mentality or the
No.
whole idea of, like, "Haha, I could just put 99 quarters in and then bomb the whole game." I'm like, "That's, like, a benefit of console shmup
hmm
checkpoints, as long as they're not, like, R-Type 1 arcade." Speaking of Gaiden, do you play with shield or do you play with limit, the thing that makes you invuln for, like, 4 seconds?
Shield. But
Yeah.
but I'm curious about playing with limit. Like I have my I always go in with Lord British, even though I am more of a Vic Viper fan, because of the ripple laser. Um,
Ripple laser sick.
but but I would love to get good with Vic Viper because I've always been asked with the laser when it comes to Gradius, but the way Gradius 5 works is you don't even unlock the ripple laser until you beat the game once. And so like the whole game I'm like I got to get used to this weapon I've always sucked with until I can
Mhm.
then beat the game and then I unlock the weapon that I actually want.
You're more determined than me, I'd just figure out a way to do a save file.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody else did all the work.
Yeah, actually, honestly, like the more I think about it, especially not referencing, but like learning that all these things are possible, the more I'm like, okay, because I was playing like Eden's Aegis on like I have it like hooked up to my Steam and everything. It's a really awesome Dojin XX game room game, and it has a thing where you have to play and beat the game with both characters to unlock two then stronger characters. And Actane was like, or you can just edit this text file. And I'm like, oh man, like if you asked me that 2 months ago, I'd be like, man, that's cheating. Just like beat the game and unlock it. And now I'm like, or I could just edit the text file.
Yeah.
you know?
It's it's cool if you unlock it. I'm just downloading the text file. That's what I do for
hmm
all the Toho games. They're like somebody has a score dot that you just chuck in and, "Okay, cool, I have everything unlocked, sweet."
hmm Because you're right. It would feel better if you unlocked it, right? But if you're wanting to play more than one game every 4 months, then you have to do stuff like that.
Yeah, this like when you're a kid, you have like, "Oh, I have Gradius 5 on PS2," and then you play that game like a lot because
hmm
that's the game you have. Now we have so many. I'm like, I'm just trying to play a game for like 3 days and then move on to something else.
I will get stuck on about 4 or 5 games, and then those are like my 4 or 5 games, right? And then I'll like get an achievement that I like want in my head, and then I'll drop that game, and then that'll be replaced like with another game, right? Like 2 months ago,
Mhm.
It was Grand Cross Renovation, Devil Blade, and I hit my Devil Blade thing, and then that was replaced with Zenek Neo, and then hit 300 million in Grand Cross Renovation, and then that was replaced with GGLS or whatever, and so that's kind of how I work. I can see how that would drive some people crazy though, and not being able to like switch between games and be like, oh, I just want to play. I just want to be done with this and play what I want. I want to achieve my goal here, like as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you have a bigger rotation than me. I can only do like
Hmm
2 at a time, but having that rotation, I think is how you hella not go crazy.
Yeah.
Like, when I was doing, like DFK, I spent a month on that game, and I'm like, if I just learn anything else, then it's taking time away that I could be learning this route.
Mhm.
And like I was like, after a month, you're like, fucking, I want to play anything else. I want
Anything.
to play. I'm like, please, I need this shit to work. I'm like, that's where I'm like, okay, we need to do at a minimum, be working on a easier game and like a harder game, or just
Mhm.
having multiple games in rotation so you don't lose your mind. That's how you get mad at one game, but playing
Yeah.
one game too long.
Yeah, that's happened with me so many times where I'm like, I'm not, I don't ever necessarily get mad at the game. I get mad at myself because I consider it to be an error in execution or an error in knowledge because these games are actually some of the most fairest games in certain ways. I mean, obviously, you have like the bullshit rank or, a certain like, oh, you did this one thing wrong. You hit the button too many times at the beginning of Zero Ranger and now your rank's at 100% or, like stuff like that. But that's why I have to be careful with playing a game too much because then I start like doubt bombing myself too much.
Hmm. Yeah, at that point, you have to break or be
Mhm.
working on another game. The
Yeah.
moment you're not happy with something going on, you have to like stop that immediately.
Mhm.
But they are interesting in that they're like since they're so static for the most part, and since like they're so if you're doing like a constructed route, you could figure only so many things can happen. And if you like fuck your route and then you fuck your route, you know that's you. Or if like something bullshit happens, it's probably on like a specific part that know this is a bullshit part.
Mhm.
Versus like doing like a roguelike where it's like, I guess I just rolled bad. Or
Y-
like oh, we rolled a shitty situation. I guess I'm done.
Right, like it wasn't your fault. Like that's why I used to fuck with roguelikes hard and then shmups kind of took that place because the progression in myself became the most important thing and not the progression in the game and or the character, which I wish a lot more people would see that. Um but
They're similar like that.
mhm,
Like a like that bridge from roguelikes to shmups. It's like such a similar format of like the let's take the 30-minute run based thing where we start from nothing and then like you're the one making the things happen.
mhm.
That's a good bridge to go from there. It's a good way to make people understand like why the hell you're playing this same 20-minute game over
Ye
and over.
yeah, it's a very good bridge in the explanation of, like, okay, so these are the same but different because they're different in the way that roguelikes are based around, game knowledge and, like, increasing the meta progression, right? Which I don't necessarily view as a bad thing, but then shmups is okay, game knowledge and increasing the progression within yourself, whether that be learning routes, whether that be hand-eye coordination, whether that be just putting in the time of like watching and like completing. um uh oh my god, my brain just went blank. Like watching and completing different like lines of thought.
Mhm. There's there's like a lot of intrinsic value in there. Like a lot of you never come off a session and don't feel some self progression in one way or another.
Hmm.
I don't think I've ever done a shmup session and then been like that was a waste of time
No, never.
or I had a shitty run that was I just lost this amount of time.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
never done that.
nope.
Mm. So, um, okay. Sorry, I got to look at my. That's actually been an amazing conversation. Um, let's see. Sorry, I have my little cheat sheet over here. That actually I haven't even really had to look at the whole time. Let's see. Video making, telling others how to make stuff. Okay, I think that would be a good way to close out. What do you think?
Yeah, we could talk video stuff.
Video
And that
stuff.
people are and that people nowadays are making way more commentaries. They're doing way more things. They're putting out way more stuff, which is super cool. When I was a hermit, that's all I wanted was more people producing more commentaries.
Mhm.
or more things on these games that are so niche you can't talk to anybody about them. But like via the videos, you can learn about them or be part of thing. And luckily, a lot of people are doing that stuff nowadays. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is. That's one of the reasons why I started making videos was, because the podcast was I was bored at work and I felt like I'd even in a year of me being in the community and consuming, all the podcasts I could, I felt like I'd gone through everything, and I was like, wanted something new to listen to. And I know that if I feel that way, there's got to be others that feel that way. And I know that earlier you were talking about you wanted to see like replays based on this certain style, and so that was missing at that point. So had wanted to fill in the gap, and so what about the difference between like videos, making videos versus live streaming?
Uh, for me, videos are where you put more of your soul in, but they're way more pain in the ass to make.
Mm-hmm.
Streaming is unbelievably fun, but you got to do both. If you're streaming, you should yap about anything you're doing. If you're on the videos, you can do anything from a super constructed video essay to just chucking out, like, you can not even be talking about the game.
Mm-hmm.
People want to hear your thoughts on thing. So, like, even like the vlog format works or whatever. You should just put out thing that you're happy with. And on like the video side of things, like you don't need to worry about better people looking at your stuff and then that being like, "Oh, I'm not gonna listen to this person because, I'm way beyond them."
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about shitty clears that you're talking about. You don't even have to worry if you don't even know the game that well. You just need to talk about stuff about the game, and you'll be shocked at how many people just want to hear somebody talking about thing, whether you're high level player, whether you have no idea what you're talking about, whether you kind of know what you're talking about. And on streams, you got to yap a lot.
Yeah, that would be my biggest issue. Was it would be just like in the moment finding stuff to talk about.
The go-to on stream is just talk about the literal thing you're doing. Like if it's a static route you've practiced, then you're like, "Well, I'm going over to the right to dodge bullet or whatever."
You could do
Or you
shmup ASMR.
want ASMR, that's just fight stick sounds.
Yeah, there you
The
go.
the like it's very hard. You can't look at chat while you're streaming that
Mhm,
easily unless you're on an easy section. It's hard to focus on what you're doing and also talk at the same time. It's if you're talking about something unrelated to what you're doing. If you're talking about the literal thing you're doing at that exact moment, it's easy to yap about. Or if you talk about an emotion you're feeling. Like if you're on a fuck section, you got to DOJ the stage 4 rails, then you don't need to like explain in a complicated way why this section is fucked up. You gotta just be like, these motherfuckers, these bastards. Oh dear God, please make me think it through this section.
right. Yeah,
Like if
oh, sorry, go ahead.
like if you want to like I think like Eris, uh, probably people know Eris. He talks about like nobody wants to turn on some stream and then have nobody like talking for
Yeah.
forever or just get instantly pop off the stream. So I try to yap as much as possible, even if you repeat things.
Mhm. They kinda wanna be they kinda wanna be, like, constantly engaged.
Mhm. And like the easiest thing is just talking about the literal movement you're making right now. Well,
Mhm.
I'm tapping. This is aimed. I'm tapping, tapping.
Oh god, oh god. Yeah,
Yeah.
or, like, your personal worries about, like, "Okay, this is what's gonna be coming up in this next section," or blah, blah, blah. Mhm.
Because I used to think that like talking while playing would be something like crazy hard, and
Yeah.
it is hard because you're losing some focus on making sure you don't fuck up somewhere. But I had this like revelation when before I ever did anything, I just went to Shmup Slam on a whim because it was close by. It's the next state over. I'm like,
Mhm.
ah, I'll go there and this will be cool, and I'll put a run in because that would be fun. And I'm like, since I was doing like specifics, like I was doing a really weird Gate of Thunder run that I needed to talk about a lot. It was like
Mhm.
hardest mode, no power ups.
Oh, wow.
So there was like a lot of very that's the only run I've ever routed myself. That's why it took longer than any of my two alls. But, like, so I had things to talk about on that one, and then, like, I did a survival DOJ route, which in retrospect is a shitty route. The like, and I had no idea going into that I would be able to talk while doing it.
Mhm.
What I found is, like, you don't need to be half of you playing it and half of you trying to, like, figure out what to say next. You just combine them both. Just talk about immediately whatever you're doing, and it felt like not that hard to get, especially with, like, routed games where you're, like, mostly muscle memorying them, to where, like, the easier sections, you could just talk about bigger stuff. But I had no idea that I could talk until that happened, and then messing with the videos, a lot of people are putting out commentaries and things,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of different styles you can do from, like, just hanging out casual vlog thingy from, like, talking about very specifically what's happening on there. Well, I found the format that works for me is, I don't script anything. What you do is, like, I'll watch over, like, stage 1 and, like, think about the big things on the stage. You don't need to pause and go over every tiny little thing
Right,
in
right.
the route or else it bloats and, like, I found my videos where I pause a whole lot are not very watchable versus the ones that are just more cleanly through. So just try to, like, note the big points in there, and then you'll, like, record all of stage 1,
Mhm.
and I found that works for me. You can there's like, a Peck is really good at making commentaries. They have, like, beat 'em up commentaries and other things of, like, being able to cohesively talk while this without pausing, going through the whole thing, hitting, like, big points.
Yeah.
That's, like, the place I want to be at. And there's people who are good at about talking about, uh, big things. I trip over my words a lot in mine because you try to get out so much information. Basically, what I'm saying is, there's a lot of formats you could do. You gotta experiment a bunch with these. You gotta not be scared of talking in front of a camera. And so many people who are otherwise just hermits, just hanging out or whatever, wanting more of this type of thing. You'll be shocked at how many people will go into those
Oh, yeah, that
who
will
like desperately want stuff
absolutely
like that.
absolutely love it. I know your Shmup Slam story reminds me a lot of the first time I ever recorded commentary for a video was, it's kind of like I call it like unconsciously, like, talking, right? Like stream of consciousness,
Mm,
where you're not, like, denoting a lot of brain power for speaking. Like, for, like, the words actually reaching your mouth are taking more brain power than actually, like, speaking, like, thinking about what you're gonna that way you can focus on what you're doing. Because Shmup Slam's a big fucking deal, you know? I know that a lot of the people I talk to consider it, a big deal, and I know, I wish I lived closer. I live on the other side of the United States, so that's a good,
yeah, that's a far place.
yeah, yeah, that's a good,
That's a big one.
I live, oh my god, like, right beneath, New Brunswick.
Yeah, just a bike away.
Yeah, 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 a good oh my god, what would that would be? Man, it would be like a
You
10
better
hour
start now.
yeah, yeah, I'll be there in about 3 weeks. Oh, Kirby says he really appreciates it, though, 'cause I keep telling him you're gonna drag his ass to Smup Slam.
Mhm. I had
Mhm.
no clue. He's like an hour away from me. I'm like, "What the hell?" I had
That's
no idea. He's just in stream, and then, like, he brought up, like, a fighting game tournament that I used to go to. I'm
mhm.
like, "Wait a minute, I was up there for Tekken not that long ago."
Oh, dude, do you fuck around with Tekken?
I'm way better at Tekken than I am shmups,
Really?
or
Okay.
or at least not now. I've taken, like, a year break, so now I'm washed, but I spent, like, the last 8 years doing, like, 3 tournaments a month.
Which Tekken do you play?
I started very start of 7. 8 is where I mostly got good.
Okay, okay.
Good, relative.
Mhm.
It depends who you talk to.
Right,
My best
right.
result, I got top 200 Evo, which
Nice.
that's the exact point where it's like, I can kill all of I can destroy bracket people. Anybody who is seriously playing and going to different majors and everything is
Mhm.
gonna fucking kill me. Anybody who's going to like Combo Breaker and CEO and that who's like a regular at these,
Mhm.
I'm like, I can't even remotely touch.
No.
But everybody else I can deal with. That's
There
about where I'm at in that game.
I there's only one game that I got, like, actually, like, tourney good at, and, I'll probably cut this part out because I left it in the last one, but
Mhm.
it was, Dead or Alive 2,
Oh
and,
shit.
this so it was a long time ago. I mean, I've played fighting games for fun a good portion of my life. I'm really wanting to get good at Blaze Blue, but that's yeah. I don't know if I have that much time because that is a extremely complex like character fighting game. Um, Tekken 8's fairly crazy. I know that like the last one that I really got into was
Mhm.
2 and 3.
3 is the place to be. Tekken kind of blows right now, so it's not.
I wasn't gonna bring
You
it
don't
up
have.
because I didn't want to. I didn't want to like. I know it's a very touchy subject for Tekken players.
Yeah, there's a reason I'm doing more shmup stuff than
Mm,
there's a reason I'm not making Nina tutorials, and I'm instead making shmup tutorials.
mm-hmm. Nina
Nah,
tutorials.
actually, I've been more attached to shmups on here.
Mm.
They're like way more comforting. You're full solo and you're going at your own pace, hitting the objectives you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's so much less stressful than tournaments. Jesus Christ.
oh yeah, yeah. I know that even like the online stuff that I did for like Street Fighter 6, which I mean I was a fucking joke at, but like it was still like going in there like hands sweating. You know, you're like, okay, do I have this down? What am I gonna do if this happens? What am I gonna do if this happens? And you're right, shmups is very much like it's non-competitive, and I mean even some of the ones that are competitive, like Twinkle Star Sprites and stuff. You know, the people always think of that stupid fucking meme about Mushihime Sama and craziest last boss ever, and it's got the bajillion bullets, and that like that's how all bullet hell games are. And it's most certainly not. It's a lot more doable than you think it is.
It's funny you bring that up. That is what got me into shmups.
Really?
I found that video, that exact video, the hardest video game boss ever.
Hmm.
And it's funny, it's hardest video game boss ever. They're showing God mode Larsa, which is
Yeah.
like infinitely easier than Ultra Larsa, which
Hmm.
is infinitely easier than like Ultra 1.01 Larsa. I'm like, this is like I'm gonna do that run like fairly soon. That Larsa is fucking nothing,
Oh
which is
man.
so funny in retrospect. But like I had that feeling too. You see that video, and I saw like Toho 8 extra stage,
Hmm.
and you see all these patterns and bullets and everything, and you're like, whoa, you must have to be some like naturally skilled Japanese
You gotta
player
be a
who's
god.
grinding these out to do a 1cc. And I didn't learn how to do a 1cc for like 800 years until I realized, no, you just go in with save states and a replay, and you come out and they're shockingly doable.
Hmm. God, that is awesome. Is there anything else you want to hit on? Because I like honestly, other than like 2 sections, I can pretty much do this completely unedited. Other than like 2 sections and then like cutting back and forth. That was amazing. Like
Mhm.
that was actually this conversation was pretty much exactly like a shmup. It was incredibly dense and
A call
and
to
like
all.
yeah yeah pan pan to all leads to 1cc rampage.
Wait, that title, you talked about that in the last, one, the one with Kirby.
Mhm.
I remember that's one of the titles that's shown up out more
Oh
than anything
man.
else. I wanted to have titles not be like, I don't know, titles are hard.
Titles
I kinda just got my format and I just do that shit, that works fine.
well,
But,
it's
on like
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna bring up if you want to talk one more last thing.
Yeah, of
It's about
course.
you brought up like about making a guide video without being incorrect.
Yes, yes. Oh my god.
Is
Thank you for reminding that because I thought I would remember it, so I didn't fucking write it down. Oh my god. Thank you so much, Pan, for that. Oh my god. Okay, so I know. Yeah. Okay, thank you. I know that from that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I was talking to Kirby, and he said that you had told him that the your one fear, or at least how you communicated it to him, was that you do not want to give the incorrect information out in your videos. Is that true? Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I think about it a shit ton
Mhm.
because so if you look at my channel, before I did shmups, I did early Street Fighter 5 video. They look This was a time when Street Fighter 4 videos were like 3-hour VODs of somebody yapping and like not telling you what to do. And
Yeah.
that's the guide videos of the time. So I was like, concise 5-minute edited video that looks professional. And everybody fell for it. I didn't know. I was not good at Street Fighter. I didn't even know like footsies well at all. I didn't know jack shit about Street Fighter, but because they looked good, they like baited people into them. In
Mhm.
retrospect, every single one of those videos are terrible. Like 8 years later, I now kind of know what I'm talking about in fighting games.
Yeah.
Back then, I had no clue, and like people who also had no clue that those were bad were like, "Oh yeah, awesome." So that's something I've thought about a lot. Especially, you can identify when you know what you're talking about, people
Mhm.
who are bullshitting, and I was hella bullshitting there. So now I get into shmups, and I'm a hermit. Like I did shmup slam, and like I'm pretty happy with how I did there. So like there's some initial ground, but like ultimately I'm just some guy who's here now. And I immediately started making like 1cc guide video. It's like, who the fuck is Guy? Why does he have authority to make like does he have the authority to make a guide video on this? So my biggest worry was like, would the people who actually know what they're talking about come in here and be like, nah, that's not what you need to be doing. This
Yeah.
is all wrong. You should be doing this instead. That's the biggest thing I'd like worried about. So like if you go for like stuff for like a part of the reason I did survival is because I've watched so many replays. I have a basis for like identifying a good survival run. And if you're copying a good survival run, they've done all the logic already. I'm literally just regurgitating the logic of why it works.
Mhm.
So for the most part, like I'm like, I think I cannot be that wrong there. And if it does help you get to a clear, even if it's not the most efficient possible way to get a clear, like at least it could be helpful. So like that's what I banked on. I got lucky enough that like I remember the first time like Wes posted a comment on
Yeah.
like my first Dodonpachi video. And if you guys don't know Wes, he's cleared some games before.
Wes
And
is
he
a
was like, "Oh,
crazy. Yeah, Wes is insane.
that dude's sick and fucking good."
Mhm.
But like so I've been like that's the biggest thing I worry about. I even like talked to Pearl, and he's like, "Oh, I found out." He said, "Oh, I found out something new about Batrider. Now I don't like my Batrider video." And I'm like, I've had that exact sentiment. My so survival is like, even if things could be better, I try my best to like iron it out
Mhm.
so like it's unfuck upable. A guide route where you die a lot is totally fine because it shows like possible death points or like explaining why something went wrong is also sometimes just as good as why something went right
Mhm.
because now you know like what not to fall for. But like I, a lot of the like my pro gear one, I'm gonna make a pro gear video soon. I don't want it to just be like I chumped through the game and then like now I'm an authority figure on pro gear. You should listen to my knowledge on how to clear the game. So it's like spend a little extra time making sure it's like it actually works, or like scouting out a bunch of replays and making sure there's nothing like better to be doing.
Mhm.
But otherwise you fall into, you have to not worry too much about that stuff, cuz you got to do as best you can and then put it out anyway,
Yeah.
cuz there's probably something better. There's probably something better somewhere. And like I've only had one time where I'm like I've made something so bad. My DOJ video is dog shit. It is super, super bad.
That bad.
And I feel literally like 20 minutes before we started recording this, somebody posted Discord. They're like, "Oh, thank you for DOJ. That helped me get my clearance." Somebody else is like, "Oh, thanks. That helped me out too." And I'm like, "I'm so sorry. That video is so bad. I made, I like in that video, I ask you to do some fucked up shit in stage two. I ask you to fight the hardest boss raw. I asked you to, or like a stage three boss, which a lot of people have a wall that run
Yeah.
into hurdle. It like I made that video whenever I was a one-all gamer. I didn't have the context of the two loops,
Mhm.
and the replay I was trying to copy had strategies in the context of the two loops. So now
Right.
that I've done a DOJ 2 all and I look back at that, I'm like, oh, uh, this shit doesn't make sense that I was saying in here. I don't even like, you can't even get the second scoring extend with the route I did in that video. So I'm like, this is something I worry about a lot. Is something ending up like that DOJ video where it looks like it could be helpful and it's just like incorrect information.
Well, see, I think it's the best you did at the time, though, and I think that's all you can ever really expect from anyone, because I know that, like, you are highly regarded in the community as a dependable, just amazing, not just creator but person that is like everyone's extremely thankful that you are doing what you're doing, whether it be incorrect or not. You know?
I appreciate that a lot because going into these, I'm like, here's just some guy who we haven't heard of before claiming to be able to teach you how to clear these games. And it's like, I was unbelievably shocked at how the response was the exact other way around,
Mhm.
where people were like, no, no, please post more.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm trying to sell my product of these. That's how the fighting games video felt. It felt like I was trying to sell a product for numbers is
Mhm.
awful. Where here it's like, what the hell? You guys want to see this stuff? I guess I'll make more. That's I still find it so fucking weird when I run into my stuff in the wild.
Yeah.
I'm like, I forget stuff's out there now. I've been a hermit for so long. Basically, I'm just saying, I appreciate it a lot.
Mm. Yeah,
I'm like, it's for real.
I find taking compliments to be extremely hard. So I feel you. I feel weird when I get compliments. Not that I don't appreciate them. I just don't know what to say back. Other
Hmm.
other than other than what you just said of being like, "Hey, thanks, man. Really appreciate it." You know?
Yeah, I just say that, and I really like encouraging people on their runs.
Mhm.
There's a weird thing. Here's a I don't know how much time you have. I have a lot of rambles, but
You're
basically,
fine.
I noticed this in fighting games. You play fighting games, and like,
Mhm.
there's a very big disconnect between the really good people who will absolutely not fucking help you, like all the Street Fighter 4 era people,
Yeah.
versus like the really good people who will actually help you, type of thing. There's a this doesn't like it's easy as you get better at these games to look at runs that are now easier for you and be like, yeah, that shit's easy. Like Dodonpachi is the biggest culprit.
Mhm.
Dodonpachi is one that's recommended as your first 1cc for the longest fucking time. It's one of the easiest cave games. Literally just hit the bomb button and clear it. And like I think some people have trouble remembering what it's like whenever are not at where you are now.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm able to target that a bit better. So I try to like really hard to remember what it's like whenever you weren't able to do something.
Mhm.
And like even if like every time somebody's like, I cleared Dodonpachi, it took me forever, but we finally got the clear. You don't go like, oh, that's cool, but like I did the two all, like I got one
Yeah.
all that game all day.
Here's a one up on you. Yeah, yeah.
But it's like I remember very explicitly whenever
Mm.
I've one CC'd that game for the first time. I know that exact emotion and I could feel that same exact excitement for like a run for somebody getting because you're like, I know exactly what they're feeling right now from that point. So
Mhm.
I really like encouraging people and seeing like people pull up those ones. I find it weird when like somebody will like this doesn't really actually happen, but like every once in a while, like somebody will have the vibe of like they put up a one all of oh what's a good example? Well, let's do like somebody got their first novice clear of
Yeah, okay.
whatever cave game. And it's like there's a lot of 1CCs are an anomaly. If you have a 1CC, if you have like a Dodonpachi clear, you're already in the upper echelon,
Mhm.
despite like it being the easy cave game. Like you don't realize how many people like don't have a clear, like
Yeah,
period.
yeah.
Or like so like I get just as hyped for somebody getting like the novice one all as like anything else because you remember exactly where you were at that point. So I'm like, I always find it weird whenever it's like, um, and it doesn't really happen, but somebody posts like one all, and it's like, oh, that game's easy. It's like, okay, all right, man.
Yeah, well, like, or
Like,
you
do you not remember?
or,
Like,
yeah, or you could have a little bit of empathy and be like, because there is a way of approaching it that way of being like, hey man, like, great job, dude. That's really awesome. Now try normal mode. You know, like you can still remember where you were, right? And still be not a bastard about it, you know,
mhm.
but while still
it,
encouraging someone to try something with more difficulty. That's kind of the whole dynamic that like where it's like don't stay in easy mode too long, but like totally get it, play these games however you want, you know? Like and nobody's going to talk shit about you. Where we will try our best to keep people from talking shit about you.
yeah, it's not like oh, you cleared novice, now you're not a scrub anymore. Get your
Mhm.
ass over to normal. It's like oh, sick, you've now cleared that.
Mhm.
Like if you want, you can now like escalate into like these games now. Like I
Or
think you're
not.
ready for
Yeah.
these games now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't ever let someone else tell you your gameplay is not worthy.
Mhm.
I guess you know it kind of goes into what we were talking about before, but like no one ha- has the right to tell you you're enjoying a game wrong, right? As long as you're enjoying the game. I mean, there is something to be said about like novelty versus appreciation, and I think that that's a more important um, topic than like enjoyment versus appreciation. But that's like a whole entire another like 2 hour podcast of getting into that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'll bring that up at the round table or something because like that is yeah.
Mhm. Doing like these are so personal and like your journey itself, you don't have to care about like where somebody else is on their journey or whatever.
Hmm.
You feel proud of what you're doing. It doesn't matter like uh it doesn't matter if it's a novice, it doesn't matter if it's a survival, it doesn't matter if it's a low scoring, it doesn't matter anything. You should feel super proud of like whatever progression you're on. Like it doesn't you don't need to compare with other people. You should enjoy the process with the other people. But you don't need to compare with them at all.
Hmm.
Like you don't need to measure yourself next to another person. That's what's so cool about these games because they're so intrinsic and single player, but with a community of people around it, it's like you get the benefits of the like of if it was a competitive community all joining together to enjoy this thing, while also it being your own path moving upwards. And like it doesn't matter. At what point, if you're doing one-alls, if you're doing novice games, if you're doing like Toho easy, if you haven't ever had a clear, if you've had really hard clears, there's like a spot, and especially if you post your replays, there's like something interesting in every single one of those levels.
Oh yeah.
And there's a community for you too. Like if you have not had a 1cc, or if you've only cleared like, let's say you don't have a cave 1cc. Like if you hop over to SHMUP Junkie Discord, they have an entire curated list for
Hmm.
games that are like Dodonpachi is way too hard on that list. Like we're not even talking about the easiest cave ones. They're giving you like a neat progression with a bunch of people who are around that same level. There's communities of people who are like, if you're going for the score stuff, that like STG Rev, you're gonna have like direct access to fucking super gamers.
Yeah.
Fucking
DMC Jamers. I can think of a bunch. Yeah. Like
eh,
seriously.
you pop a question in there, and then like world record holder goes in. They're like, oh yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It's crazy how open that stuff is. So
Oh
like,
yeah.
it doesn't matter where you're at in the totem pole. There's a bunch of places, and everything's valuable. It's super cool.
Hmm. Yeah. I think that'll about do it. That's the pep talk of the day right there. That was fucking awesome.
The tiny tangent. I like if a video takes longer than a day, I lose my mind. I'll
Hmm.
like lose motivation so fast. So if you manage to hold that over longer than a day, then I'm like, I salute you. That shit is so hard to retain.
Well, yeah, because like I got like that Show Shaw one that I'm probably going to release, even though it's not like a 2 all or anything, just because I think
Do it.
yeah, because it's like really fucking interesting. Plus, I'm really curious on anybody if anybody else has ever died during a results screen. Like,
Hmm.
I actually need to go through some replays to see if that's a thing that has ever happened. Because at least I
Yeah,
could have a world record on that, if anything, you know.
yeah. You have the benefit on yours that people are gonna want. They don't like, they're not clicking on your Choren Shah video for Choren Shah. They're clicking on your Choren Shah video for you playing Choren Shah.
Hmm.
It's the exact place you want to be.
Yeah,
You do
I
not wanna be in the spot where people watch you because you're good. That's,
yeah.
like, utterly miserable
Hmm.
versus, like, the spot you're in now is super good, so something like that run, the Choren Shah one, is something that would be probably more interesting than if you didn't get
Oh
popped
yeah.
in the results screen.
I think I'm definitely gonna do that then.
Yeah, if you, like, because 'cause you're gonna go through that, and it's like you just did the run. Oh, I got popped here or like whatever. It's not like super clean or whatever. You watch back through that and you have like interesting ass shit in it.
Hmm.
While in the moment you're like, this is a dog shitty run. Like
I I even find that I'm that way whenever I'm recording shit. You know, like I'm even like, man, this fucking commentary is gonna be dog shit, and then I'll re-listen back and be like, oh, actually, that's pretty good. You know,
I have that every single time I record commentary.
really.
I've stopped watching my guide video commentaries back. I got it to a format where I don't have to edit the actual commentary itself.
Okay.
I just get it lined up and then I don't fucking watch it because I'm
Wow.
like, it's it's better on the soul.